Where the heck have you been? That's some serious PII. Everybody's social leaked. I mean, what can you actually do? Welcome back to DIY Security. If this is your first time here, we talk about the latest cyber news and demonstrate some techniques that hackers use to compromise systems, but we do it here ethically, legally, and with permission. So this channel is aimed to be informational. If you're into learning about anything in the cyberspace, I plan to stay on top of the most recent stories and document my journey of learning along the way. So make sure you hit that follow and subscribe button to stay up to date. Now back to the video. So I'm sure by now you guys have heard about one of the most recent cyber breaches that have happened by a company called National Public Data, or NPD. And if you haven't, where the heck have you been? Underneath a rock? No, I'm just kidding. It's a Florida-based company that offers background checks. All right, so here I have gone on the internet. I've looked up all kind of different things. Just trying to give you guys a summary. I'm not going to read the whole article, and there's tons of articles out there. But to sum it up, there was 2.9 billion records that had gotten exposed, and the records that were exposed included social security numbers, names, addresses, phone numbers. So that's some serious PII, or personal identifiable information. So who did it, and how did they do it? So it was a hacker that goes by the name of USDoD. And apparently he got doxxed shortly after posting this breach, but we're not really going to get into that. That's a whole different topic. I'm not really trying to bring any extra attention to who this guy actually is. If you really want to try to figure that out, you can, but I'm not going down that rabbit hole. I'm not trying to get that type of attention. I'm just really trying to bring awareness, let you guys know the news, what's going on, right? So how did it happen, right? We know who did it. It was a guy, even though these guys are saying it was a hacking group. Apparently USDoD is like his handle. But they said it was an example of social engineering cyber attack. And it was a website of the data broker that contained a zip file with the back end passwords needed to access the database that he had gained access to. Okay. So says, the company, like I'd mentioned, it's based in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and the data that was stolen had spanned over 30 years. So we're talking pretty much everybody's social potentially in the US was probably leaked from this breach. So the timeline, sometime in April, the hacker began to exfiltrate data, apparently, allegedly, from what I've gathered up. And by, they said August 12th, NPD, or National Public Data, they became aware of the incident, allegedly, is from what I've read online. Why does it matter, and how can I protect myself? Well, if you're broke like me and your credit is wrecked like mine is, you may be wondering, why does this even matter? Well, a few things, social security numbers, those are with you forever. It's not like you can just be like, okay, let me just go get another social security number. And so just because you're broke and your credit sucks now, what about 10, 20 years from now when you finally did get your credit up, or you finally got some money in the bank? And what if these hackers have stored information? Because trust me, it's somewhere. Once it's out there, they're probably storing this stuff for a rainy day, and they're I'm sure they probably tried to use mine before, and they're like, man, this guy's broke. Sure. Lucky me, right? Unlucky, lucky me. Well, so something to kind of I want to bring to you guys' attention is the identity theft has been on the rise. this year, specifically on ages 30 to 39. You can see the numbers here. And this article, I'm just using this article. It's very similar to a lot of the other articles as far as the numbers go. So I deem it probably pretty accurate, even though it's from, I think the article is like the Monthly Fool, which, the Ascent, a monthly Fool service. So I'm not going to say anything bad or good about them. You use your own judgment. I'm just sharing some things that I have found, right? So going down, we could see a lot of the attacks in 2022 have had to do with retail. These these fraud attacks. And you might be wondering, well, how could it be doing in retail? A lot of times they will make these ads, whether it be a Temu ad. Sometimes they pay for Google ads, or maybe they might even try to pay for a TikTok ad for you to buy something or click something. And once they get that credit card information down, they can, I saw a common trend was they will scrape, say, thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of people's card information. And they may charge you a very small amount that's not really noticeable, like say $10, $5. But you realize they do this to 100,000 people, $5. Now they got $500,000. Or, a million people, now they got $5 million. So you can see how this could be pretty bad. So identity theft by state, looks like California is taking the lead this year in 2024 from the stats right here at 68,000. You got Texas with 54,000. Florida in third place with 54,000, which I wonder if these numbers are after the breach, or if, I'm sure the numbers for identity theft are probably going to go up in the coming. I'm pretty sure this article that we're reading is only going from half the year. We're pretty much on Q3, or pretty sure we're on Q3. But so the numbers really haven't come out yet for Q3, and of course not for Q4. But by 2025, we'll be able to compare. So what can you do about this? I mean, what can you actually do? As I mentioned, it's your social security number. There's not a whole lot you could do besides maybe, you can consider freezing your credit, especially if you're needing to utilize your credit soon. Of course, you would just have to unfreeze it when you actually need to use it. But you would do this to make sure it doesn't get impacted in a negative way, right? But, there's only so much you guys can do, to be honest, or that we can do. It's cyber is just getting more and more advanced, and threat actors will keep being threat actors. So we got to stay vigilant. It's crazy because you would be surprised what someone can do with just a driver's license, and that was pretty sure that potentially was part of the breach. I just recently had to order a new birth certificate, and that is all I needed to get my birth certificate in the mail on a online site, was send over a copy of my driver's license, a black and white copy of it, and boom, pay $20 and they send me a certified birth certificate. And you could do a lot. Now you got a social, you got a birth certificate, you got a license. They could do a lot with they could take over your whole identity. So be careful, guys. We gotta be vigilant. We gotta really start taking cyber seriously. So just wanted a quick video to run you guys down on this latest security breach. And yeah, if you guys found this information useful or helpful, make sure you hit that subscribe or follow button, and I will follow back. Teamwork, you guys, makes the dream work. And you guys have a good rest of your night or day. Peace. Be the good change you want to see.